Hello and welcome back to another video of cricket analysis by C and E. Today, I'm all alone in this video, so I've come here for a case study now that is about the West Indies. How they went from being one of the most dominant nations in the cricketing world to the current situation of them unable to even qualify for the ODI World Cup. We'll talk about all the situations, all the problems that led to these performances in detail. It's going to be an interesting video, so keep watching. Now, the journey of the West Indies cricket team started in 1932 when MCC, the Marylebone Cricket Club, first recognized them as a test playing nation. The initial years had some struggles for the West Indies Cricket Board, as it was expected that the local people will play for the country more in this sport, but it was just the opposite case. The colonial residents were playing the sport more than the local residents. But it was under the leadership of Frank Worrell in the 1950s, and then later Sir Gary Sobers, that the local residents started participating more, and the West Indies became a stronger team and started making their mark in the cricketing world. Then came a period starting off with the leadership of Clive Lloyd from 1970s to 1995. This period is stated as the golden period of the West. In this period, they went to 3 World Cup finals consecutively: 1975 defeating England in the final, 1979 defeating Australia in the final, and 1983 losing out to India in the final. 3 World Cup finals consecutively and winning 2 of them. Such was their dominance. And from 1980 to 1995, they did not lose a single test series, home or away. So that is another incredible feat for them. Now, there are many players that need to be credited for such performances, starting off with the captain himself, Clive Lloyd. He brought the players together, he motivated the team, he set a lot of goals, and he got the results. That is him. And starting off from the batting lineup, it was the opening duo of Gordon Greenidge and Desmond Hales. They used to bat for 40 overs, 50 overs, 2 days. They just did not get tired. The opposition bowlers were tired of bowling to them. Even if somehow one of them got out, it was Sir Vivian Richards stepping out to bat. King Viv, famously called for his aggression that he used to show on the pitch. No need to talk about Viv Richards more. I think the whole world knows about him and his greatness. But when you're talking about West Indies from the 70s and 80s, you need to talk about their pace bowling lineup. Michael Holding, Malcolm Marshall, Joel Garner, Andy Roberts. Sunil Gavaskar famously mentioned in his autobiography, The Sunny Days, that Malcolm Marshall once came up to the pitch and told him that he wants to see blood on the pitch. The mentality was clear in this bowling lineup. The batsmen used to feel nightmares on the pitch. But after the retirement of greats like Viv Richards, Gordon Greenidge, Malcolm Marshall in the early 1990s, the aura or the feel or winning did not feel the same. They were still getting the results. We'll see in the next slide some pictures that the rise of greats like Brian Lara, Curtly Walsh, Curtly Ambrose in this period resulted in some great wins for them. But it was finally in 1995 when West Indies lost a series at their home soil, losing out the Frank Worrell Trophy to Australia. But even though the fans thought that the golden period cannot be reincarnated, Brian Lara-led West Indies team won the Champions Trophy in 2004 in quite a miraculous manner, defeating England in the final. They made the Caribbean fans feel that finally the 70s, 80s period can be reincarnated. West Indies can come back to dominating ways again. But little did the fans know what was going on inside the setup, in the cricket board and between the players. The financial and political situations were very bad at that point of time, deteriorated a lot. By 2007, the West Indies Cricket Board were under huge debt. So they had to host the ODI Cricket World Cup in order to generate revenue. But even though they wanted to clear out their debts, but the revenue generated was even extraordinary sales of the tickets of the World Cup. But still, it was very less compared to what they had due. This led to West Indies asking the ICC a loan of $3 million in 2008. But finally, the biggest problem that arose at that point of time was the clash of sponsors between Digicel and Cables and Wireless, and this led to a big problem between the board and the players. This resulted in the resignation of the president at that point of time of the West Indies Cricket Board. Now, everything started off when Cables and Wireless did not renew their contract after the 2006-07 England tour of West Indies. They were the primary sponsors since 1986 of the West Indies cricket team. Now, since Cables and Wireless did not renew their contract, the West Indies Cricket Board thought of issuing a new contract worth $20 million with Digicel, another company. It was a rival company of Cables and Wireless in the Caribbean. But also Cables and Wireless agreed to sponsor the ODI World Cup that was to be hosted in the West Indies. But the players were not informed about this. That was the issue there. And most of the players had their contracts with Cables and Wireless. And the new contracts with Digicel was affecting their payments by a huge margin. So majority of the players were not ready to sign the contract. 19 players, including Brian Lara, did not sign the contract. Then 7 to 9 other players, including Shivnarine Chanderpaul, Xavier Marshall, they agreed to sign the contract even though after receiving huge pay cuts. Now, revolting to this issue and the lack of responsible behavior from the West Indies Cricket Board, the players revolted by not participating in the 2009 Champions Trophy. The West Indies were forced to send a B team to the Champions Trophy, and the team clearly struggled without their star players. Even in 2014, West Indies had to cancel their tour of India. It consisted of all 3 formats, ODI, T20 and Test. But still, due to lack of financial assets, they had to cancel the tour, even after BCCI threatening them about future series. But still, they had no other option but to cancel that at that point of time. But during this period, where the West Indies players lost their affection towards the national board, this was a rise of the franchise leagues, starting off with the IPL in 2008. We'll see in the next slide about some pictures about the different franchises. IPL started off in 2008, followed by BBL in 2012-13, then Caribbean Premier League in 2016-17. Many leagues arose, and right now there are leagues in every country. But the West Indies players chose to play more of franchise cricket rather than playing for their own nation. The payments received from the franchise leagues were a lot more than what they received from the West Indies Cricket Board. Darren Sammy even mentioned once that the payments and salaries they used to receive from the board could not be even mentioned in front of people. It was slow. And it was a disrespect to the players who used to fight on the field hard for their own nation. So players like Sunil Narine, Andre Russell, Chris Gale, they switched to playing more of franchisee cricket. Even right now, there's the retirement of Nicholas Pooran at the age of 29 from international cricket. He chose franchise cricket over national team. The reason being the cricket board. But even though after going through such bad phases, in 2012 and 2016, the West Indies, under leadership of Darren Sammy, won the T20 World Cup twice. And even in this time, the women's team also won the T20 World Cup in 2016. The West Indies were dominating in the shortest format of the game. It felt like they could at least show their dominance in this format. It was a ray of hope for the Caribbean fans. But again, the Caribbean fans can never be happy for long. After 2016, the next World Cup was held, T20 World Cup was held in 2021 after 5 long years. And in this phase, from 2017 to 2021 or 2022, they lost 29 series, 27 series, and won only 19 series in T20 format. And most of the wins came against minnow teams like Ireland, Afghanistan, Scotland, etc. etc. But they lost to major teams like India, Australia, Pakistan, and many others. Even after all this, the players heavily criticize the board. For example, some of the statements in the next slide. After winning the 2016 semi-final against India, Dwayne Bravo said in the press unprofessional their board was. Darren Sammy, after winning the T20 World Cup, was not even congratulated by their own board. RCB fans think that Chris Gale's coming to RCB team in 2011 as an injury replacement was really a lucky one. But I think they need to thank the West Indies Cricket Board, because they disrespected him. They did not inform him about him being dropped, and he was forced to play in the IPL at that point of time. So yeah, they can be credited for some transfers. But even Michael Holding said about the administration of the board. Brian Lara, after the T20 World Cup loss, stated that the talent was not being harnessed. Now, why are these statements here? We can say that after every series, in the current scenario, after every series, we see there is no player being backed. No player at all. The West Indies lost that could not even qualify for the Super 12 of the T20 World Cup 2022. They lost to Zimbabwe, Ireland, Scotland. These three teams defeated them again. In the qualifications of the 2023 ODI World Cup held in India, they again lost to them. These defeats were embarrassing for a team like West Indies with such rich history. But even after this, nobody was back. Every series, we see a new face in the team performing. But you need to back the players. Every series, we see someone else being dropped, a new captain being changed. In the last 5 to 7 years, so many captains were changed. Most recently, Rovman Powell, even after being fairly successful, not a lot, but still he was fairly successful. The T20 World Cup was a good stint by him and the West Indies team. He was then suddenly removed from the captaincy uninformed. Dwayne Bravo criticized the board about this decision again. Now, the downfall of the West Indies team was really unprecedented and unfortunate. As a cricket fan, everybody loves to see West Indies winning matches, winning tournaments, and dominating. Even though sometimes we feel sad when they defeat our own nation, but still, as a cricket fan, we always love to see the celebrations of the West Indies cricket team and seeing them how happy they play. They play the game with their heart and they give everything to the sport. The players need to be respected and the board needs to understand that. We hope that the West Indies perform very well and better in the future tournaments, and the board understands the players and respects the players. Ending the video today, signing off, Proneet Ghatak. Keep watching Cricket Analysis by C&E.